If you've been wondering whether the Phoenix housing market is crashing, recovering, or just stuck in neutral, the latest data tells a very interesting story. And honestly, the headlines aren't telling the full story. Let's start with inventory. Today, we have approximately 25,000 active listings available across Greater Phoenix. Now, that might sound like a lot, but here's the trend that matters. 1 month ago, we had nearly 25,850 active listings. Today, we're down just over 25,000. That means inventory has fallen by more than 800 homes in the last month. What's even more interesting is that inventory is actually lower today than it was a year ago, when we had roughly 26,200 active listings. For the first time in quite a while, we're seeing signs that supply is beginning to tighten instead of expand. Now let's talk about demand. Pending sales currently sit at about 4,966 homes. That's slightly lower than last month, which is normal as we move through the season. But compared to a year ago, pending sales are actually higher. Even more important, annual sales volume has increased from approximately 72,300 homes last year to over 76,007 homes today. That's an increase of more than 6%. In plain English, despite affordability challenges, buyers are still buying. In fact, they're buying more homes than they were a year ago. That's not what you'd expect to see in a declining market. Now let's address prices, because that's what everyone wants to know. The median home price today is $455,000. 1 year ago, it was $452,500. 2 years ago, it was $450,000. So think about that. Over the last 2 years, despite higher interest rates, increased inventory, affordability challenges, and nonstop media predictions of a housing crash, the median price has remained remarkably stable. Phoenix homeowners have not experienced the major value declines many people predicted. Instead, we've seen a market that has largely moved sideways while buyers and sellers adjust to higher borrowing costs. However, there is a shift happening. The average sales price per square foot has softened from $315 price per square foot 3 months ago to about $299 per square foot today. This tells us buyers are becoming more price sensitive. Homes that are overpriced are sitting longer. In fact, the average days on market for sold homes has increased from 76 days last year to 82 days today. That's a meaningful change. Buyers have options, and they're willing to wait. So who's in control right now? The Comfort Market Index currently sits at 81.5. Anything below 100 favors buyers. Anything above 100 favors sellers. For comparison, 2 years ago, the index was 106. That was a seller's market. Today, we're firmly in a buyer market territory. But here's the key. A year ago, the index was 73. Today, it's 81. So while buyers still have leverage, sellers are actually in a stronger position than they were last year. The market is improving, not dramatically, but measurably. So what's the takeaway? For buyers, you still have negotiating power. You have inventory choices, you can negotiate, often for concessions and favorable terms. For sellers, the market is not crashing. Values are holding, but pricing strategy matters more than ever. The days of throwing a number on the wall and hoping for multiple offers is gone. Homes that are priced correctly are still selling. Homes that aren't are becoming stale inventory. Bottom line, the Phoenix market is finding balance. Inventory is improving, demand is stronger than last year, prices are stable, and while buyers still hold more leverage overall, conditions are healthier today than they were 12 months ago. If you'd like a custom update for Ahwatukee, Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, or your specific neighborhood, send me a message and I'll show you exactly what's happening where you live.